As destination marketers, I think it's very important for us to know the people on the front lines and the people that are interacting with the visitors, and just to make sure that those people know what a destination marketing organization does. Collecting their feedback is sometimes even more important.
You guys, I have been working on something for the last 6 months that has been such a giant project, but I'm so proud of it. I'm excited to announce that I've just released my book. It's called Touchpoints, and it's the Destination Marketer's Guide to Brand Evaluation and Enhancement. And it is a comprehensive guide for destinations to look at their brand, evaluate what you've done, and make a very clear and detailed plan of action of how to fix it. And look, I'm biased, right? Because I wrote it, but I think it's so good. I think it's a great guide, and I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. And I wanted to tell you guys about it. It's available on Amazon. Search Touchpoints by Adam Stoker, and you'll be able to get that book for your destination. And I think it's going to be, especially for anyone that is trying to look at their brand holistically, this is the book for you. So check it out. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Destination Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Adam Stoker. I'm excited to be with you today. I have a little update for everyone. I talked a couple weeks ago on a bonus episode about a pilot program that we were running for a podcast product for destinations, and I want you to know that the pilot program is full. And so for the next 90 days, we're going to be developing and perfecting that product. And so we're not going to be able to accept any new requests at this time. But in June, we're opening it back up for everyone once we've perfected the product. So just know that if you're interested and wanted to get in on the pilot program but didn't let me know quick enough, we'll put you on a waiting list so that you're the first one we contact once the product is complete. But just wanted to make sure everybody was aware. In the meantime, we have a great show for you today, a great guest. Her name is Carrie Di Guido, and Carrie is from Dana Point, California. Carrie, how are you doing today?
I am wonderful, Adam. Thank you so much.
Great. We're so excited to have you, and we appreciate you coming on. I think we're going to have a lot of fun today. But before we dive in, I've got a question we ask everybody that comes on the show, and you listen to the show, so you've heard it. Tell us a little bit about your dream destination. If you could go anywhere in the world, where would it be?
If I could go anywhere in the world, I really just want to go somewhere where I can see the Northern Lights. Like, that is definitely at the top of my bucket list. I'll go to Alaska, Iceland, Norway, anywhere where I can see them. But right now is currently a downswing. We're on a downswing of the 11-year solar cycle. So my plan is to go in 2024, 2025 when the cycle is predicted to peak again.
Oh, so you've researched this. You're prepared. You know exactly when the right time is to go check out the Northern Lights.
Yes, and I have to see them.
So how long have you been working on this trip?
Well, I have been wanting to do this for probably 4 or 5 years, but I started researching it a little bit more and then realized that I should just wait a little bit longer to have better chances of getting to see it.
Well, if it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing, I think you're making the right choice to make sure that you're getting the full experience. So that sounds like a great trip.
I can't wait for it.
Well, we expect an update here in 4 years once you've gone and hear how it went.
You got it.
Well, let's talk about places you've traveled then. What's your favorite place you've ever visited in person?
Yeah, so that's an easy one because it just happened. I got married in June, on June 29th. And
congratulations.
Thank you. And my husband and I went to St. Lucia for our honeymoon, and that was definitely my favorite trip so far. What I loved most about St. Lucia was where we stayed. So we stayed at this place called Ladera Resort. Have you heard of it?
I haven't.
Well, you'll have to go there, add it to your list. Basically, it's 27 villas, and every single one of them has only 3 walls. So one of the walls, it actually is just open and faces ocean and where the pitons are, which are these beautiful mountains, and you have a plunge pool, and it just like has a little swing over it, and so you just really get to enjoy everything and really get immersed into nature. And so at nighttime you turn off all the lights because you don't want the bugs to come in, and it's just like magical because there's not that much light pollution, so you can literally sit in your plunge pool and look at the stars and just talk and talk and talk, and it's wonderful.
So that sounds incredible. I'm wondering if in our Destination Marketers LinkedIn group, if we could post a link to that resort when we release the show. That is a place that I would definitely love to be able to go back and find it when it's time for me to book that trip. So do you mind if we do that?
For sure, happy
Great.
to.
And so it's in St. Lucia. And what made you choose St. Lucia? Was that something, were you surprised with that by your husband, or tell me a little bit about how you guys settled on St. Lucia?
Yep, so we actually got a recommendation from a travel advisor. Originally, we thought we were going to go to Bali or Tahiti, or one of those places like that. I really wanted an overwater bungalow, but it was a little bit out of the price range to do
Yeah, those
something
are
like that.
not cheap, are they?
No, not at all. And so our travel advisor recommended St. Lucia, and he knew about this little hotel, and we just fell in love with the idea, and we said, okay, let's do it. And it was great. We're so happy we did. It was much more affordable, and I don't have the experience to compare it to, but I feel like it was the absolute best.
Oh, that's so great. So great. Okay, St. Lucia in the middle of the Caribbean, right?
Yes. And so the thing about it is that it's only a 3-hour time difference as well. And so when you think about traveling from California, if you want to go to a place like Tahiti or Bora Bora, it's 20 something hours to get there. And then you lose like days. And so it could be hard to adjust to the time difference. But in St. Lucia, it was just a 3-hour difference. And so we were able to really get there and just start enjoying it right away without the jet lag.
That sounds great. Okay. All right. St. Lucia, number 427 on the list now. We just keep making this list longer and longer, but
Yeah.
it sounds amazing.
Yes, it was.
Well, tell me a little bit about you, Carrie. Tell me about your background and how you kind of got into tourism.
Yeah, definitely. So, well, I grew up in a tiny little town called 29 Palms, which, do you know about 29 Palms?
So how many palms are there in that city?
There are a few more than 29,
Okay.
but it's a really small town. It's in the desert near Palm Springs. It's actually right next to Joshua Tree. So many people know where Joshua Tree is.
Yep.
So that's basically where 29 Palms is. And um, so I was out there in the desert, couldn't wait to get out of there. After graduating high school, I went to Cal State Long Beach for college. So I moved down to the beach. I started working at the Ritz-Carlton Marina Del Rey while I was in college, actually. My grandfather worked for the Ritz-Carlton, and I was just working at Blockbuster Video at the time. I didn't even have a major declared or anything. And he said, you know what? Maybe you should go talk to my friend, Sandy at the Ritz-Carlton Marina Del Rey, and see if you would be interested in getting into the hospitality industry, because I think you would be really good at it. And so I went over there and decided to go ahead and apply. I got a job as a part-time front desk agent, and it just ended up loving it. So I stuck with the hospitality. I was at that property for 5.5 years. And then after that, I moved to the Ritz-Carlton New Orleans for a couple of years, and I was the front office manager there. I was there. So after 2 years, I moved to Florida, and then
That's a
I
big
came
move.
back. Yeah. And then I came back to California and started working at the Ritz-Carlton Laguna Niguel
Great.
here in Dana Point. And I was there for about 5 years as a travel industry sales manager before joining Visit Dana Point.
Great. Great. And how long ago was that you joined Visit Dana Point?
Yep. So I joined Visit Dana Point on December 10th. So just over 2 months ago.
Perfect. And thanks for that lead in, because the topic of our show today is kind of breaking into the industry and what it's like. And I think a lot of us that have been in the industry for a long time, we've been doing it for so long, we kind of forget about the learning curve when we started and some of the things that are just kind of part of it. And this is an industry that has more acronyms than any industry I've ever been a part of, right? There's TRT tax in one state and it's lodging tax in another state. And, there's a CDME certificate and there's DI, which is Destinations International. There's just so many acronyms, to a lot of us, it just kind of flows off the tongue. But to somebody that's new to the industry, it's like, what in the world are they talking about, right? So I'm glad you're going to
Yes.
talk to us a little bit about breaking into the industry today.
Yeah, no, I think it's perfect time for that because I have been on board for a couple months now, so I have a better idea than the first time we spoke about what kind of what it means to be part of a destination marketing organization. And I love it. And I think that I made the best choice.
Okay, Carrie, tell me a little bit about kind of going from the hotel side to the destination side and kind of how that experience that you had, especially in the hospitality side, helped you prepare you for the role you have today.
That is a great question. So, when I was in my previous role as travel industry sales manager, my main responsibility was to build relationships with our top producing luxury travel advisors all over the world. And so I would travel on sales trips and I would go to these travel agencies and meet with clients and talk to them. My job was to promote the hotel, but the Ritz-Carlton Laguna Niguel was the first hotel in the Ritz-Carlton, or the first resort in the Ritz-Carlton company. So it's very well established. Most travel advisors are familiar with it. And so I ended up talking more about the destination and what their clients would experience when they came here because they knew what to expect from the hotel in terms of service and everything. I didn't have to talk about that too much. So I would give just brief updates on the hotel, but my sales presentation focused on selling the destination. So I talked about our location, how Dana Point is just halfway in between LA and San Diego. So it ends up being a perfect home base for really anything you want to do in Southern California. LA is just 1 hour away, and San Diego is an hour away in the opposite direction. I talked about how Dana Point is the dolphin and whale watching capital of the world. And I'd love to share more information on that, maybe on the LinkedIn group as well, because it's really exciting.
Oh, that would be great.
And then how surf culture was born in Dana Point. The first surf shop was built here in 1954 by Hobie Alter. He also was the first person to produce mass surfboards by making them out of foam and fiberglass, which is lighter and faster and more responsive than wood. Surfer Magazine was born in Dana Point, and the movie Endless Summer was built here. So we really are like the birthplace of surf culture. And so when I would get up there and talk about all of those things, our travel advisors their eyes would light up and they would be so excited to send their clients here because it is kind of like a little hidden gem that not that many people know about. And with that role, I got to talk about all of those things with Visit Dana Point at the IPW conference last June. And that was really eye-opening. I got to learn a lot more about like what a destination marketing organization does and kind of learned a lot more about that. And I knew that getting into destination marketing was a thing that I would want to do. And when I found out that Visit Dana Point had an opening, I was really excited. And I felt that it was just a really perfect opportunity for me to promote the destination that I love so much and then contribute to the even bigger picture.
Well, Carrie, so you were on the hospitality side, you moved over to the destination, and then you found my podcast. Tell me a little bit about that process, how you found our podcast and where you went from there.
So as someone without much marketing experience, I feel so lucky that our president, Johnny Westham, took a chance on me and said, Carrie, I want to hire you in this role. He liked my mindset and knew that the marketing expertise would come over time. And so I really wanted to try to hit the ground running as much as possible. So I decided that I needed to do some research. And so I looked for resources in any way that I could find. And I came across your podcast, which was actually perfect and ended up being exactly what I needed, and started listening to it. And then my wheels got turning and I said, I need to rediscover my destination. I feel like I lived around here for 5 years. I know a lot about Dana Point, but I definitely didn't know everything. I hadn't been to a lot of the restaurants and done every activity. So I started making a list of every place that I needed to go to and just really looked at it from a visitor perspective. I just wandered around the city, like really just tried to take it all in and really think about what I was seeing and what people would be feeling when they're here in Dana Point.
So this is obviously kind of fun for me to hear because you, in getting into the industry, you found our podcast and you actually took some of the content that we talked about here on the show and you applied that to preparing you for your position, right? So kind of fun for me to hear. I'll try not to self-indulge too much and go down this road of how wonderful our podcast was for you, but I'm glad to hear that it helped you get started. And from that, you decided to rediscover Dana Point. And so tell me a little bit about what you encountered as you did check those items off your list or the attractions off your list within your destination. What did you find?
When rediscovering Dana Point, I found that I really do feel that the way that we promote the destination is what it really does feel like to be here. I feel that our marketing is very authentic, and our brand values, one of my favorite of our brand values is that it feels local, and that's definitely the case. That everywhere you go, people are welcoming you and excited to tell you about what's happening in Dana Point. And the people that work in the restaurants are people that are down there surfing at Salt Creek Beach or Doheny Beach, and they're just talking about the waves. And I just feel that it does really, we promote the brand the way that it is here.
I think that's pretty exciting to walk into a destination like that and discover that your marketing really is authentic because, without authenticity, the customer experience is going to be a real problem. So the first thing you were able to establish, it sounds like, is, hey, we've got a great product for one, and we're marketing it well and authentically. I'll say that's a word, authentically for another. And so I feel like that's a great place to start. So you did that and you went through that process of experiencing it from a visitor's perspective. Why did that feel like the right place to start for you to experience it from a visitor perspective?
Well, when, living here, you tend to take some things for granted from time to time. And also, in working at the hotel, I feel like I didn't always think about what was happening beyond the walls of the hotel. I was very concerned with making sure that people had a great experience when they came to stay at our hotel. But I wanted to make sure that as we said, that your marketing has to be authentic, and I wanted to be able to sell it in a way that, well, you have to experience something in order to be able to sell it, I think. And so when you're thinking about marketing and you're thinking about all of the activities, it's just much better or you can market it way more authentically when you have experienced it.
No, I think that's great, and I love that you're using my new word, authentically. So I appreciate that, so I don't feel alone here. But I think you're right, and for our destination marketers that are listening, that have maybe been in their role for 7, 8, 10 years, when was the last time you went out and rediscovered your destination from a visitor's perspective? I love that you did that breaking into the industry because you had to, right? You had to find out, if your marketing message was authentic. I love that you went through that. And I think that's a great reminder for our listeners of, even if you've been in this industry forever, it's probably about time for you to go experience that again. Uh, when you and I were talking before, one of the things you mentioned, and I'm not going to shamelessly just keep going back to how wonderful our show was for you, but you did mention that you heard a couple of technologies on the show and used that to kind of explore and deploy those technologies when you got to the destination. Tell me what those technologies were and how your destination has benefited from that.
So one of the technologies that I learned on the podcast was about crowd riff, and
Oh, yeah.
the idea of, first of all, I mentioned before that I'm new to the marketing world, and social media marketing is definitely not something that I had really thought about too much in the past. I had learned about CrowdRiff on the show and kind of some of the capabilities that it has in terms of aggregating social media images and stories and giving you a platform to upload all of your own content and how it automatically tags everything for you so you don't have
Right.
to worry about that process. It sifts out the social media images that wouldn't perform well and really does give predictions on which will perform the best. It makes it easy to get permission to reuse people's UGC. There's one of
Nice.
those acronyms again.
Yep, exactly.
Um, and it makes it easy to reuse the images you find on social media and get the permission and use it on your own marketing platforms and social sites.
And how's it been so
And
far?
yeah, no, it's been really great. So we've just implemented it. So I haven't learned all of the ins and outs of the system yet, but I can say that their team is phenomenal. The sales process was great. My account director really gave the tools needed in order to sell the platform to my boss in a especially since I was just learning about destination marketing in general. It was great to have somebody really explain to me how we could implement the system and start using it immediately. And I have to say that one of the other very cool pieces of CrowdRiff is um, that Visit Dana Point is going to have 7 new hotels roll up underneath us starting in July. So
Oh,
right now we
wow.
have 4 in the 4 main hotels, and we're going to get 7 more in July. And so, one of the things that's a challenge when that switch turns and we now have all these other properties is how do we get marketing collateral and all of these things and start promoting them right away. And so, this is great because I'm already able to collect images on social media for these new hotels that are coming on, and it will make it so much easier just to flip the switch and start streaming their images to our website and using those in our marketing material right away.
And that's great. So you don't have to, have a big shoot out there or anything like that. You use the user generated content and you take that from CrowdRiff and implement it into your marketing. That's a great benefit from using them. Yeah, I like that.
I mean, amongst all of the other things I mentioned, that was a really big selling point, and it really was going to help me in my role, especially and also with taking on the social media. So we're going to bring it in house. I'm going to be managing all the social media starting in March, and I'm just very excited to have a tool like CrowdRiff to help with that. It will save a lot of time trying to get rights and permissions to use content.
So what other technologies have you found valuable since you've been in your role?
Yeah. So on one of the episodes, you had Mo from Bandwango on, and I thought that
Love
that
Mo. Mo's a great guy.
yeah, he's so nice, and um, he was talking about how his company Bandwango puts together the city passes, and you can do free or paid. It really helps you like funnel people into different activities. You can easily see what activities people are enjoying most. You can then have all of that data as well as the means to keep in communication with your visitors after they've gone. So retarget them and market them to come back and enjoy the destination again. And so I was excited to learn all of that on the podcast, and I actually met Mo. I met Mo in person at the Visit California Outlook Forum a few weeks ago, and I was able to tell him that I learned about Van Wango from your podcast, and he was so excited to hear that.
Oh, how fun. That's awesome. Well, he was one of our earliest episodes too. So that
Yeah,
it's fun to have you go that far back, and it really is an amazing product. So I'm glad you're implementing that. You'll have to follow up and let us know how that goes.
I will definitely. So we're going to do a demo and hopefully get them signed on here in the next few months.
Great, great. Well, tell me a little bit more, Carrie, about some of your other early successes. I know you've only been in the role for a couple of months, but what else has been your priorities since you've been in your role?
One of the things that have really helped drive success so far is meeting with the marketing teams at all of our hotels. So I made a special point to go and have lunch with each of the marketing directors and managers just to really understand what they need from Visit Dana Point and kind of how we can help each other. And I think that was a really great move.
Carrie, one of the things that you mentioned, and I think this is so good for especially being early in the industry, is a willingness to collaborate with other destinations. Tell me a little bit about how you've been able to work with other destinations and how you plan to collaborate as time goes on.
So I definitely understand the importance of partnering with other destinations in the area. I feel that we can only help each other. I don't really one of your episodes, I don't remember which one, but somebody was talking about, your neighbors are not your competitors and they're only there to help you. And that's so true, because when you think about somebody that's going to come to a destination, they're not just going to stay within the city limits of Dana Point. They're going to go to Laguna Beach. They're going to go down to San Diego. They're going to go to LA. One of the really great things about being here in California is that we have Visit California as a resource, and they really do a great job of kind of facilitating
Oh,
the
great.
co-op opportunities for destinations. And so I've been learning a lot more about that. But um, our president, Johnny Westham, also has excellent relationships. He's been in the business for a long time. So we've been talking about doing partnerships with West Hollywood, with Palm Springs, and just some other destinations to make it part of a much larger itinerary. We have heard a lot about road trips from Northern California to Southern California being a really popular activity right now. And so, Dana Point is a great destination to be on that route as well. And so we're doing marketing collaborations with Visit California and just promoting ourselves in that way. So in the future, we're looking forward to doing a lot more partnerships with Visit Laguna Beach, which is right next door to us, and Orange County as a destination as well.
Yeah, I love that you're doing that because really, and you mentioned it a little bit earlier, but visitors don't see county lines, they don't see city limits, they see an experience, right? And so anytime you share pieces of an experience with another destination, it's such a great idea to collaborate. And I'm glad that you're starting out with kind of that attitude as you go into your role. We've gone through a lot of different topics today. I know one of the things that you mentioned is your interactions with travel advisors, and you actually come from a background of working with travel advisors, right, from your hospitality side. So tell me a little bit about how you're using those interactions with travel advisors to help you in your role.
Yeah, definitely. I think that one of the things that can be easily forgotten is that travel advisors are there as a resource, and that they need to know as much about the destination as possible as well. So I say that the travel agencies are growing rapidly with the rise of experiential travel. Travelers of all ages are really turning to experts who will take the time and get to know their needs and their interests, and really develop specialty itineraries for them. And remember that these people have been to the destinations. I feel that as destination marketers, we don't want to forget about travel agencies. I think there is a misconception that travel agencies are going away, but the truth is that they're growing, and more than ever, the travel industry is so focused on experiential travel. And travelers, there's so much content online that people don't really know what to believe when they're doing their own research. So if you turn to a travel advisor who actually takes the time to get to know what you need and get to know what your interests are and really customize an itinerary that's perfect for you, you'll get to get a lot more out of your experience. I mean, think about what I mentioned in the beginning about my trip to St. Lucia. I didn't even think that that was a place I would want to go, and now it's my favorite place that I've
Great
ever
point.
been. So, you know, those travel agents, they know the non-Googleable facts, and they're able to give those personal recommendations. And so I think that making sure that travel agents are aware of your destination is just as important to marketing to other channels.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. And I'm glad you're working with those travel advisors, because anytime you can get somebody that controls, a more than just one travel decision, and they control several travel decisions, it's important to be at the top of their list. And so I'm glad you're making that effort. Uh, Carrie, is there anything I haven't asked you today that you feel like would be beneficial for our audience to hear?
I think one of the things, especially coming from the hospitality side, that I can share as a little nugget of information is that it's important to get to know the teams of the stakeholders as well. I feel like a lot of the times we communicate to the board members or the directors of various teams, and it doesn't always trickle down as much as we think it should. So, as destination marketers, I think it's very important for us to know the people on the front lines, to know all of the sales managers and the people that work at the front desk, who work at the valet, and the people that are interacting with the visitors, and just to make sure that those people know what a destination marketing organization does, and collecting their feedback is sometimes even more important.
Carrie, I think that's a great point. The people on the front lines are the ones that actually see the customer experience. They know what the customers are going through. They know the challenges they have. They get to actually see their faces light up when they have a great experience. It's the surf instructor. It's not the guy that owns the surf instructor school, right? So I think that is such a great piece of advice: is talk to the people on the front lines, get to know what they're seeing with the customers, and use that to continue to craft and improve your customer experience. Great point. Well, Carrie, it's been wonderful to have
Yeah,
you
thank
today,
you.
and I appreciate you taking the time. I'm definitely going to do some research on St. Lucia and find out some more information about that resort. So we'll post that in the Destination Marketers LinkedIn group. But thanks for coming in and sharing a little bit of your experience of breaking into the industry with us today.
Oh, it's been such a pleasure, Adam. Thank you so much. And don't forget to come to Dana Point.
Oh no, we're working on it. Yep, I'll talk to my wife. We'll plan that trip.
That's perfect. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everyone. This has been another episode of the Destination Marketing Podcast. Just a reminder, if you have not yet joined that LinkedIn group, you may never get to stay at that St. Lucia resort that we talked about today. So make sure you join the LinkedIn group so you can get access to exclusive content like what we talked about today. And other than that, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.